this is Lady Boule, and I hope you're having a most marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. So, this is our beautiful, educated, talented, and outspoken Ebony K Williams. And she's been in the hot seat lately because of her outspokenness in stating a preference of her dating choices. In a conversation with life coach Iyanla Van Zant, Ebony was asked if she would date a bus driver, and she answered if he owned the bus. And this is what apparently got Ebony K Williams in trouble with many Black Americans. Not all, but many. At 40 years old, Ebony Williams is not married, and lately she has been discussing her age and the lack of available men in her dating pool. And so now this is the discussion about very successful Black American women and the lack of prospects for marriage partners, especially with Black men. And people who are mad at her, mostly men, because she said she didn't want to date a bus driver, are talking about, oh, she old and nobody wants her because she doesn't want this, that, and the third. And the big one, because she's hit the wall. Well, the only reason that Ebony K Williams isn't married is because she doesn't want to be. But she was reprimanded, and I believe shamed, by a large segment of the Black American community for saying that she wouldn't date a bus driver. So now she has come out with a video that has gone viral where she is advising Black women that while you are pursuing your BS degree, you should also be pursuing the MRS and the ring. Okay, so just listen to this video.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as Black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for Black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger Black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated Black men is so low when compared to Black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 Black women students for every 1 Black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young Black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of Black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision making instead of on the back half.
Every time I see this video, I think to myself, it looks like somebody's got a knife in her back, making her say those things. And I don't disagree with what she's saying. When you go to college, if you know you want to get married and have children, that is a good time to seek a marriage partner. Because for me, I married somebody that I've known all my life. And my friends, many of them married somebody that they met in college, and they're still married. It is a formula that can work if that's what you want. Everybody is not mature when they're 18, 19, 20, and 21 years old. So it can work. It does work, but it just seems like there's this pressure on black women to take responsibility for the black community and the black family. And I think that's unfair. I don't hear anybody lecturing black men and talking to black men about preparing for marriage, preparing to take care of a family. You just don't hear anybody giving this advice to black men. Everybody wants to lecture black women. There's no pressure on black men, and that's the problem for me. Where is the pressure on black men to build careers and prioritize family? Why is all of the pressure on black women? And for a woman like Ebony K Williams, who was raised by a single mom who was a bus driver. And so when she says she doesn't want to date a bus driver, she wants him to own a bus, I guess she's saying that her mother put her through college, or she got through college with a single mom driving a bus, and she can't aspire to anything more than somebody driving the bus. I mean, where were the guys who would be her equal? Why aren't they building some kind of career like she did? I think that that's a fair question. And then there are reasons that women like Ebony K Williams may not pursue marriage first, especially when they're coming out of a single parent home, a single mother home. Number one, trust. When children come from families where they've been abandoned by their fathers, their mothers have been abandoned by their husbands, have trust issues. They don't trust men. So it takes time for them to build trust, because they haven't seen modeled in their home a father there taking care of the family. So it takes time for them to build trust. Number two, they're insecure. They didn't grow up with the security of a father. So they don't trust that a man can build a secure family life with them. So it takes time to build that sense of security. And that's why women go out and build their own careers and take care of themselves, because they are insecure and do not trust a man to do it. Number three, uncertainty or unsure of themselves. Children who are brought up in single mother homes very often are unsure of themselves. They lack confidence. Low self-esteem can show up in children regardless to whether they're in a two-parent or a single parent home. But when there is an absentee parent, it can cause low self-esteem in some children. Number four is tradition. When we talk about low self-esteem in young girls and young boys for that matter, a lot of that stems from not being brought up in a traditional home with the nurturing of a mother and the security of a father. So they don't have the tradition of family. So they don't necessarily know how to build that tradition if they don't come from that tradition. That's how come they say, black women are bossy or black women are masculine, because they haven't seen the traditional roles of the father and the mother in the home. They've seen the mother doing the role of the father and the role of the mother. So they don't know the difference sometimes. Again, it takes time for them to grow into that. And finally, when you're a beautiful woman like Ebony K Williams, and you are going through college and you're building a career, you see that the black men, in many cases, are not on the same level as the black woman. Even though she might desire to be with the black man, he's not on the same level as she. So that's a conflict. So then she might have a white man who is on her level, who might be attracted to her, and she might be attracted to him. But again, you're coming up against cultural differences. And Ebony K Williams seems to be grounded in the black culture. And maybe she prefers a black man. But again, finding a mate that because it's not just about how much money the guy makes. And somebody put this up. It's not just about being a bus driver. You want a man that you can have a good conversation with. And when you come home and talk to him about what your day has been like, you want somebody who can have a conversation and listen to you and have some level of understanding about what you're talking about. So that's what being equally yoked means. You need to be equally yoked in understanding. The white man might be equally yoked in understanding, but there is a cultural divide that's going to cause problems in that relationship regardless to how much you care about each other. And then you're with a black man who, in many cases, if he's the bus driver and you're a lawyer and you're on TV, and it is a good chance that he's going to be envious of you and he's going to be jealous, and that is going to cause friction in your relationship. So rather than judging her because she said she didn't want to date a bus driver, I think there should be some effort to understand her. And black people really need to start doing a better job with black boys. This whole idea about clowning and getting kicked out of school and graduating reading on a 4th grade level needs to be addressed by black people, not just the school system and the white people. You need to know why your child is reading on a 4th grade level when he graduates from high school. And all of the problem is not on the school system. Some of the problem is on you. You have a responsibility in your child's education too. And black boys need to be mentored and trained. They need to be brought up working and learning how to do things and being taught that they are going to be grown men one day and they are going to have to take care of themselves whether or not they ever get married. And if they get married, they need to know how to do more than pay a doggone light bill. Growing up in the South with the boys that I grew up with, those boys had to work. And they knew they were going to have to do 3 things when they graduated from high school. They were either going to go to college, they were going to go to the military, or they were going to go to work. And in my generation, and even in my hometown, where a lot of boys grew up in single mother homes, those boys are doing well. They are working. Or some of them have gone to college. Or some of them have done really well in the military. So I don't understand these communities where boys are not being taught they need to do something with their lives besides complain. I don't understand that. But anyway, Ebony K Williams is not married for the reason that she is stating, that she can't find a suitable mate at the time now that she has grown, matured, and developed to the point where she wants to be in a family situation. I believe that black America needs to cut black women some slack, because it's almost like black women are being punished for having ambition and for being able to compete in this very competitive society. So the punishment that you get as a black woman for competing is having people tell you, well, you ought to settle for somebody that's driving a bus or somebody who can just pay the light bill. That is not fair. It's just not fair. Black men can do better, and they should be expected to do better. It's not just on black women to save the black community. And as far as Ebony K Williams is concerned, I'm sure she's conflicted. I believe she was all set to marry a white man who had been married before and had children. Maybe she saw what happened with Stacey Dash, who married a white man with some teenage daughters, and that turned out to be a mess too. So marrying into another race might not be the happy ever after that you want either. So I continue to say that black Americans need to grow up. Nobody is going to save us. There's nobody out here that's going to save us. We have to save ourselves. So anyway, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about this video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.